Hey Greensburg, I have what can probably be referred to as a bit of an unhealthy love of donuts. Now, some of you are instantly probably thinking, this close to New Year's Eve, we're going to do an episode about donuts. But let's be honest, we're a couple of weeks into the year, and many of your New Year's resolutions have fallen by the wayside. Recently, I was thinking about this unhealthy donut obsession, and I think I have traced it back to some time in my childhood. Now, I'm not going to push off all responsibility on my childhood and say that there's something messed up in my past, and that's why I have the obsession that I have with donuts now. But I think I can trace it back to being in Monticello, Arkansas. On those special times when my dad would take us to school, we would try hard to beg for him to stop by this really incredible bakery that I remember having some of the best donuts in the world. And I've often wondered why I thought those donuts were the best donuts in the world, because I can also remember that strawberry something or the other mixed Snapple that I would have, thinking it was the greatest drink in the world. And recently I remember picking that up and drinking it and thinking, nope, that's not near as amazing as I remember it. So why is the memory of the donut being so incredible? And that place didn't last long. It went out of business before too much longer, so it couldn't have had the world's greatest donuts. But why do I associate that place with being one of the best donut places in the world? Let's go chase down some donuts in Greensburg, talk about those, and then we'll end talking about this.
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum.
Years ago, my son Paxton, who's now 8, started a tradition where every Friday we would go out for pancakes. As he got older and grew up and required more pancakes, that became a little more expensive than I would have liked. So they built a Dunkin' Donuts just right down the road from my house not that long ago. And I'm pretty sure we have paid off that Dunkin' Donuts now because it's within walking distance from my house. And every single Friday, Paxton and I would go to Dunkin' Donuts and have a donut and just hang out in the mornings and spend some time together on Friday mornings. When Ellie come along, that became our day. We shifted Paxton's day to Saturday, and then on Friday, Ellie and I would go on our daddy date, and spend some time together. It was my idea to start with donuts, I'm pretty sure, and I think that was because, as I told you, my dad would always take us to get donuts, and it was something that created a special place in my heart and was really important to me. And so I love donuts. I love spending time with my daughter. So what I decided to do for this episode is that me and her, go to a different donut place. This wasn't all in one day, although I gotta admit we probably did a few more than we should have in one day. But some of my favorite donut places here locally. Now, we're not gonna cover all of them, but for instance, Prannell's Bakery that I just discovered not that long ago, as you saw in a video just a few weeks ago, that one didn't make it, and I would put it pretty high up on my list of donuts that are incredible. But we went to a few places. Donut Chef down off of 22, and then also to the Pie Shoppe, which is one of my most favorite motorcycle rides that you can make on a Saturday morning, to go down to the Pie Shoppe in Laughlintown and get a donut. And then we visited on the way back from the Pie Shoppe a place that was recommended by someone that watches this channel, and they suggested that we stop by Dainty Bakery in Latrobe. So those are 3 stops that we made. We checked out their donuts. So here's how that experience went as Ellie and I took this trip together, which you got to know that when you are hanging out with Ellie at the age that she is at 3 years old, that pretty much means that you just sing Frozen songs all day long and then talk about Frozen things, much like we did on this trip. Is that your favorite song on Elsa? Or Frozen 2? Which one's your favorite, Frozen 1 or Frozen 2? What about Olaf? What do you like about Olaf? Look at the ice on the pond. Here at the Donut Chef, and I gotta be honest with you, when we looked this one up, I was a little surprised to see that this had a Greensburg address. I fully expected to be on the outside of Greensburg, not that we're not doing any that are outside of Greensburg. I have been here before, and I do think highly of them. They're very good, and so I'm looking forward to this experience. Ellie, you ready to go get some donuts?
Yeah!
Well, that was a little bit of of a madhouse. Saturday morning, it was packed out the door. You could barely even stand in there for a little bit. We had to stand outside, but then we were finally able to work our way in. Not a big space, but definitely smells amazing in there. And great price on the donuts. So looking forward to trying these. Illy is a little eager to try hers, so she is going to try the cake donut with the sprinkles and let you know what she thinks. There you go. Are the sprinkles good? Huh? What's it taste like?
Kind of like cereal milk.
Oh, cereal, huh?
Yeah, cereal milk.
The donut chef, and I'm about to try it myself. Wow, that's one of the best donuts I've ever had. That's a really good donut. That's almost past Dunkin' Donuts. That is really good.
When it comes to a plain glazed donuts, this is one of the best. And the reason I think it's one of the best is because it doesn't have too much glaze on it, so it's not overly sugary. It doesn't have too much glaze on it, so it's not overly sugary. But then also because I don't like to be fooled into thinking that I'm eating something healthy when I'm eating a donut. I know it's not healthy. I know it's not good for me. And so I love when the flavor of the oil comes through and you taste it in the bread. And so this is a great donut. The plain ones are good as well. Favorite part on it? And them M&Ms? The best joys of being a dad, I think, is leftovers. When you have young kids, they grow out of it, I'm sure, but when you have young kids, they don't seem to finish anything, and so that means that a lot of times Daddy gets to finish it. So we were driving down the road, and Ellie asked if she could be done with her donut, and I said, sure, why not? And that was my cue that I was going to get to eat a little bit of it and enjoy that donut that she just had from the Pie Shop. The problem is that what she meant by done with it was that she had picked all of the M&Ms off of it. You ate all the M&Ms and left the donut, didn't you?
That's M&M with frosting, and then it's kind of like a glaze like you would always get at the bottom. Is that yours?
Yep.
Ew, bacon? Ew, are you serious?
Talk about how heavy it feels. It feels like
It's pretty heavy.
This
is like a wallop of a donut.
I feel like they're filled with all kinds of grease, and mine's bacon and maple, and one of my all-time favorite donuts that you get at the Pie Shop. You ready?
I was about to take a bite.
You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, that's pretty good.
We're here at Dainty Pastry Shop in Latrobe. I've never been here before. This is one that was suggested by someone that watches this channel or has watched this channel, left a comment on the Prantles Bakery when we went there. They said this was better than Prantles, and so we are going to give this a try. So, hey, that's why you need to comment below with your suggestions, because we definitely try them. We give them a shot. So here we are at Dainty's Pastry Shop in Latrobe. I've never been here before. Custard-filled Long John.
I think we're gonna take a bite there. It has a lot of frosting.
A little bit in there.
Oh yeah.
Ready?
Looks gorgeous.
You wanna try it?
Wow. Like boom.
Like boom what?
Like right there, it's just like boom with flavors.
Now, to be honest with you, I can't say enough about this bakery. A little family-owned place. The staff was fantastic when we walked in. I told them a little bit about what we were doing. They were extremely friendly and gave me things to try and told me information. And this little bakery is a pretty neat little place, and I highly recommend that if you are in downtown Latrobe, you should swing by this place and check it out because it's family-owned. I love that on the sign they said that they're closed on Sundays because God's service is better than their service. And so just an incredible, neat place, and I hope to be able to visit them again and do some more stuff with them. Here's the reality of it. I believe that fathers play a vital role in the home. In fact, I believe that it's so vital that we can chase through society most of the woes and the troubles that we see that are societal-based woes and troubles can be linked in some way to an absence of a father, increasing the odds of that being a bad situation. 4 times greater risk of poverty for kids that come from a fatherless home. More likely to have behavioral problems, more likely to face neglect and abuse, 2 times greater infant mortality, more likely the abuse of drugs and alcohol, and more likely to go to prison, and 2 times more likely even to suffer from obesity or to commit a crime or to just to be more violent. There are so many statistics that go along with this, and it points to one thing that I think is absolutely important. Fathers, we have to be present. See, in Greensburg, I believe that we see that trend in our city also, and I believe that one of the absolute best ways that we can become better as a city is to strengthen the ties and the structure of our families within what we have here in Greensburg. For me, donuts are so important in my life, and the reason that I started that so many years ago with my son, going out every Friday and spending time together alone with him, and then carried it over to spending time with my daughter now also, is because not that donuts are important and that I want them to learn about donuts, but it's our chance in a cheap way to have that connection every single week and spend as much time as we can together. And I encourage you to do that. Find something like that, fathers. If you're watching this, find some time to have some one-on-one alone time with your kids. Spend time with them, invest in their lives, and put the phone down and really connect with them and pay attention to what they have going on. It may not seem like that big of a deal, but I can tell you years and years later now, looking back at my dad making that effort so many years ago, the impact that it now has in my life means more to me than I could ever express here in a video. In fact, it's so important to me that I've decided that it's something I want to pass down to my kid. Here's the reality of it. If you take from this that I am a father that is knocking it out of the park or doing an incredible job, you're mistaken, because I'm a father that makes many mistakes and I mess up constantly. I'm created in the image of the God that I serve, who created me to be a father because he is God the Father. And he's not disconnected, and he's not uninterested, and he's not separated from me, but rather he is longing to draw closer to me. And that's the example that I have that I keep looking toward. So the best example that I can have is the example of God, my Father. So whether you believe that or not, that's not the point. The point is that there are statistics upon statistics that show us that this is an important part of the American home. And if it's an important part of the American home, it's an important part of the Greensburg home. So fathers, let's step up. Let's step up to the plate and start making a difference today. Why not, now that you've passed off all those other resolutions of not eating donuts anymore, why don't you make the new resolution to now take your kids and enjoy the donuts that you swore off that you couldn't keep away from in the first place, and make that a point of connection. It's cheap, it's fantastic, and it'll make a difference, and you get to eat donuts. And that's a win-win, if you ask me. Thanks for watching, and this is my city, Greensburg.